baby, baby. Okay, I got a new microphone. Do I sound smooth? This is smooth jazz. Hey, it's me, Leah. I'm here to give some updates about what I'm planning for my fall season with my handmade, plant-dyed linen clothing brand, Darwin Textiles. A little bit about what I do, in case you're unfamiliar. I take an ecosystem-minded approach to clothing and textile arts. I make really earthy linen clothing, hand-dyed with pigments from plants. And now, as you'll see with some of my new projects I have coming up, I'm going to be offering sewing patterns, I'm offering plant-dyed linen fabric, and some more sewing tutorials so that you can become a better eco-conscious clothing creator as well. I'm so excited about a lot of new directions for my small business, and I have so many ideas overflowing through my idea head that I can't wait to get started on. But my mentality and intention for this fall that I had to set for myself, because as like every season I check in with myself, a meeting with me, I check in on what went well, what went poorly over the last season, and what am I planning for in the next season. And I can tell I'm in a real spirit of like, I've got so many ideas coming into my head that I'm so excited to pursue, and I have just too much going on to pursue them all. And if I try to, it's gonna come out really chaotic and disorganized and probably flop a little bit. So it's taking a little bit of idea pruning. And the way I'm imagining it in my head is that I am on a river that is flowing quickly, because it has been flowing and picking up speed throughout the year. And I want to just hold on to my inner tube and flow down that river in the direction it's already heading, and not try and add a bunch of too many new crazy things. A sort of mantra that goes along with this intention is, and it's a little bit cliche, so bear with me, I've been trying to repeat to myself that I am enough. And that is enough in a multitude of ways. So one way is that I have enough. I have enough money. I have enough money even though, as a PhD student who has a small business, I technically am right around and often below the poverty line. But I am a great saver, and I have a lot of support systems around me. I'm very privileged in that way, and I have enough financial education to propel me forward. I have enough money. I have enough money, and I have enough money, and that's okay to say out loud. That is really hard to say out loud for some reason, especially when you don't make tons of money, but I'm trying to get comfortable saying it. I also have enough things going into the fall and the holiday season and into the new year when there's like all this self-improvement mindset. I'm just trying to remember I have enough things, and I don't need more things to become a better person, a more likable person, or anything like that. And also I'm trying to get on board telling myself that I know enough. I'm 29, and I feel like most of my 20s I've spent feeling like I don't know enough about anything. I don't know enough about the world. I don't know enough about how people in the world treat each other. I don't know how people in the world treat animals. I don't know enough about how to run a small business. I don't know enough about how to sew or be an expert in something. And I don't know, maybe it's because I'm 29. Maybe it's coincidental, maybe there's something in the air, but I am starting to feel like now, after having a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and partially through a PhD program, and even having a lot of work experience and being self-taught in how to start a business and running that for 3 years, okay, I've learned so much. There's always going to be so much more to learn. I'm so excited to keep learning, but remembering I know enough. I know enough information. I don't need to keep like eating information like I'm starving for it. And being confident with that, of how much I know about the world and know about things. So I have 4 projects for Charlie Darwin that I'm focused the most on, and I'm really excited to get started. I'm going to do a little bit of a show and tell. So the first project is already in motion, actually. It is has to do with my plant-dyed linen fabric. So over the last maybe year and a half, I've been selling very intermittently bundles, sort of, you can buy a pack of all plant-dyed linen scraps from my clothing line. And I sell them in a bundle of fabric. They're all pieces that are the size of my hand or bigger. And people like to use those to sort of do quilting projects, piecework projects, meditative hand stitching, art journaling, fabric journaling, all sorts of things. You could make little ornaments out of the littler scraps. And so those are now, I have them restocked on my website, and that's big. But what also is a new thing, a big exciting thing, is I'm experimenting with selling linen fabric that's plant dyed and sold by the yard, or technically by the half yard. You could buy it in a continuous yardage up to 3 yards, which makes it great for sort of bigger projects that you want to do that require bigger pieces of continuous fabric, like sewing clothing, or pillows and things like that. So I'm able to do this actually because about a year ago I invested in this really giant dye pot and heating mechanism, and I have a whole sort of like wet lab for doing my plant dyed fabrics. And I know that's a resource that a lot of makers don't have. They don't have access to that sort of supplies or space. And so I'm really happy and excited to be able to provide that for anyone interested in sewing with plant-dyed linen, which is pretty hard to find on the internet. So this is all medium weight linen, and I'm offering it to start in just 3 colors. I have my Kutch pink. Kutch is a plant that gives you this real light, dusty, sort of antique pink color. And absolutely beautiful. I love this color. And then I've got my indigo blue that I'm doing right now. I'm starting with just a medium indigo blue. If it goes well, I might lean into some darker or lighter blues, but I've got my indigo blue here, and then I've got my really calming, soft tea gray fabric that is dyed with black tea and iron sulfate. And so all 3 of those will be sold by the half yard on my website, and I'm excited for that. That project is already in motion, so you can find the link to those fabrics down below of where you can buy the scrap bundles and the fabric by the yard. Okay, the second thing I'm focusing on this fall is, I'm so excited about this one. I've been working on it since I think June or July. It's been in my back of my head for probably at least a year. But I am now going to be offering sewing patterns, PDF sewing patterns of my clothing designs. And so the first one is a shirt that called the Canary shirt. I actually started first selling this shirt on my website about a year and a half ago, February 2022. And it has since been the bestseller on my website. And when I asked pretty much anyone that would listen about what sewing pattern they'd like to see first from me, this one got the most votes. And making a sewing pattern was actually a much bigger task than I thought it would be. And I knew it would be hard, but there was just a lot of like technical aspects that went into it. I had a few people test it out for me, and because I've been selling it for a year and a half of me making it for people, and I've been getting really good reviews on the clothing that I've been sending to people. So I knew that it was going to be a good fit, but the sewing pattern is on paper and in real life, on physical form, and trying to convert that into a digital file was a little bit trickier than I would have anticipated. And so I'm really glad I had people test it out for me, because there was just small tweaks I needed made, like the collar stand, for some reason, when I transferred it digitally, it wasn't fitting the bodice right. And so I had everyone work out those kinks with me, who tested it with me, and I'm super excited. I've actually done all of the background work into getting that sewing pattern ready, and now I'm hoping to launch it in about late October, early November. The biggest hurdle now is, that kind of goes along with this project, is how do I want to sort of launch this digital product? How do I want to put it out into the world and get people as excited about it as I am? Because I'm super excited to start selling digital PDF sewing patterns and start seeing people make the clothes that I make and share their experiences with me. I just am still working on my best, most authentic and effective way to really drum up that marketing gusto and put my things out into the world. So that's what I'm going to be working on in the next few weeks, is the launch of that sewing pattern. And you can also find the link to that below. If this is before it has launched that you're watching it, you can still find a link to sign up to be notified when it comes out. The third thing that I'll be focusing on this fall is preparing for a holiday market that's going to be in Pittsburgh on December 1st and 2nd, I think. And this is called the Handmade Arcade Market, and it's one of the biggest holiday handmade markets in the area. Over 10,000 people came last year, and even though I was in like the literal back corner booth and I had a smaller sized booth than most people, I still did really well, got a lot of sales and met a lot of new people, and specifically with my scarves. So I had linen scarves and my braided cotton scarves. They did super well, I think because I had them right out in front and they're so lovely to touch in person. It's something that's hard to even convey over the internet, but they were so touchable and also really giftable. And so I think that's why they did really well in the last market. But leading up to December 1st, I'm going to need to make a crap ton of scarves to sell at this market. And I have tons of ideas I'm going to try not to get carried away with. See intentions before in this video. But I have tons of ideas that I want to try out as far as different giftable, handmade, eco-conscious creations for that market. I'm going to have another video on that in a couple weeks, I think, so stay tuned for that one. There's a lot of cons to doing in-person events. Like, it takes a lot of time and labor and energy to get all set up. Luckily, this one's indoors, so there's not a lot of crazy weather elements involved. And they do tons of marketing to get people there. But one of my actual favorite things about doing any in-person event is getting real-time feedback from people. And honestly, so many compliments. When I put things out onto the internet, sometimes it feels like I'm screaming into the void. I do get lots of nice emails and comments on YouTube videos and stuff, but nothing quite hits like when you're in person and someone's touching the thing you made and saying, this is so beautiful and this is so lovely and this is amazing work. So I'm excited for that. I think I kind of need that boost by the end of the year to recharge me into the next year. So I'm really excited for that energy boost. The fourth and last thing I'm going to be focusing on this fall is this. It's my YouTube channel. It's trying to show up consistently, posting one video every week, and just getting that much better at it every time. It's been fun. It's been hard. It's really hard to just start talking into a camera when no one's there. And sometimes I think that my neighbors are can hear me through the walls talking to no one. But something I'm learning a lot through this as far as transferable skills is how to speak a little bit more clearly and concisely to convey a point. I can be a little bit of a rambler. I can sometimes feel lost. Sometimes my thoughts get a little scrambled while I'm trying to talk, to put it one way. And so this has been a good practice in trying to get words out. So hopefully that's paying off in some way. I'm excited to grow this YouTube channel over the next 12 weeks and see if I continue the practice into the new year. I think it's important to note what I am not focusing on because, like I said, I am trying to stay more focused. I am setting priority on some projects over others. So I'll tell you a little bit about what projects I am absolutely not focusing on this fall. So there's all sorts of different reasons why I'm not focusing on these things. Each one's a little different. I don't have enough energy to focus on promoting my clothing sales. Clothing sales seem to be a little bit slower around this time of year anyway. I think because people are thinking gifty, and made to measure custom sized clothing isn't super gifty, and linen isn't typically thought of as a winter garment. And I mean, I fully disagree with that. I wear my linen year round, and I think it can be super warming and temperature regulating, and it's great in layers, but it's okay. It's not great clothing sales going into the winter time. I'm still open, and I'm truly grateful for any sales that come in, but I'm not going to put my energy towards marketing that made-to-measure clothing. Something I'm definitely not prioritizing this fall, and you might have noticed over the last couple months anyway, is growing my Instagram. So I actually started my business 2.5 years ago with Instagram being my primary marketing platform. And I thought, how does one find human beings without Instagram? How would I ever sell a thing without Instagram? But thank God I have found so many different ways over the last 2.5 years to talk to people about what I make and how I can help them, not on Instagram. You can tell I clearly don't love the app. That's also too big of a topic for this video, but I find it's just like too choppy of attention spans and content, and I don't like thinking that someone just scrolled by news about a war and then like stumbled across my handmade linen clothing and then sees a picture of a baby and then sees a football score. I just don't like having my hard work and love and thought and creativity just jumbled into the chaos of the Instagram scroll. So, all that being said, I am not focusing on Instagram growth this fall, and I am perfectly okay with that. I'm actually super excited about it. You will still see me on there every once in a while. I'll post something, and of course, I'd love it if you wanted to go follow me on there. Just know that I won't be posting as much as maybe some other people that you follow. All right, so that's what I got cooking for us over the next 3 months, and that's what I got not cooking too. Some things are better left not cooked right away. So many metaphors. Thanks so much for being here with me in this season of enough. I just want to put it out there that you are exactly where you are meant to be. Now, I don't really believe that everything happens for a reason or anything like that. There is no reason, but I guess what I'm trying to say is things were different in the past. Things will change again in the future, but you are exactly enough to be here in this moment, to be here with me, and wherever you are on your journey. You're enough, you have enough, and you know enough. You can find all the links that I mentioned down below, including where to shop my plant-dyed fabric and where to sign up to be the first notified when one of my new sewing pattern releases. The sewing patterns are going to be super deluxe and customizable by height. So if that interests you, go ahead and sign up at the link below. Thanks so much for being here with my ding-dong floating face on your screen. And I wish you a really awesome, supercharged, relaxing, yet inspirational, calm, lovely, fruitful fall. Bye.